All right, guys, so Aaron Rodgers' press conference just ended. It was definitely a lot different than I was expecting. For the past while, we haven't heard anything really from him at all, only, what the news has been reporting. And in this entire interview, if you guys watched it, he basically laid every single thing out. He was just putting it all on the table. He was being honest. He was being, transparent, sort of about what he's feeling, sort of the entire thing that has gone down. So I just want to give my thoughts on what he did have to say. But if you guys haven't seen it, you definitely should go check out the entire interview. It's like 30 minutes long. He sort of breaks down every single thing. But sort of the biggest takeaway I sort of got from that is that basically Aaron Rodgers just wanted to have some, assurance that they were going to, have him or keep him around past the 2021 season. And, we heard that phrase like he doesn't want to be a lame duck quarterback reported sometime this offseason. He did say that in that interview as well, that basically he just wanted the Packers to come in and, sort of secure him there for the future, because as he has said in the past, he wanted, his plan, or he was wanting to be a Packer, for his entire career. And it seems the Packers management just wasn't really wanting to come in and give him that assurance that he really wanted. And, he did talk about them drafting his replacement, Jordan Love, but he did say that wasn't what really started everything. It's sort of been that he's wanted some input on decisions. He was especially talking about free agency, how he wanted to be able to sort of give his input there, maybe be able to, influence guys to come to Green Bay. And he just never really had the opportunity to come in and sort of have those conversations and, sort of to have that influence that he wanted to have on this Packers team. And honestly, being the Packers quarterback for 16 years, or being in Green Bay for 16 years, now coming into his 17th year, I completely understand where he's coming from. And with him, being one of the greatest quarterbacks, winning multiple MVPs, a Super Bowl, I think that the Packers, should have given him maybe some more input. I understand, he's just the player. He was sort of talking about that they sort of just expect him to play and they want to make all the decisions. But having a guy in Aaron Rodgers, I do think his opinion is valuable, and I do think what he has to say is valuable. So I completely understand where he is coming from and why he basically wants to be able to have, a little bit more input coming into, gets lots of different decisions for the Packers. And he also went and talked about past Packers players who have left, like Clay Matthews, Charles Woodson, Jordy Nelson, lots of these different guys where basically they just were sort of shown the door and weren't really given an opportunity to stay around, even though they wanted to stay around, even though they wanted to be, maybe finish their career with the Packers. They just didn't really have the opportunity to. And that was sort of one of the things he really talked about in that interview, just sort of treating guys, veteran guys, maybe wanted to keep them around, because he was talking about, leadership, chemistry, having veterans around, the power of sort of having guys who have been there that long and sort of have the ability to come in, mentor guys, teach guys, and sort of just be, crucial, important guys in the locker room, because the chemistry is definitely important. That was sort of one of the things that he was sort of focused on talking about. And so it just seemed that the Packers were never really willing to come in and give him that ability to, sort of have the kind of influence that he really wanted to have and sort of felt like he deserved to have in Green Bay. And still up to this point, with Randall Cobb coming back, it sort of seemed like maybe now Rodgers has sort of gotten what he wanted. But now with, what he was saying in this press conferences, he was like, yes, I'm excited, of course, to have Randall Cobb back. But he said he doesn't expect to be a part of the discussions going on in the future for personnel. So the idea that maybe having Randall Cobb come in, maybe that gives Aaron Rodgers the ability to come in and have influence now. He was basically saying, someone was asking him, is that going to be a problem, wondering, is Aaron Rodgers making these moves? And he was like, you don't have to worry. He said he doesn't expect to be a part of discussions. So things really don't seem to have changed. And before I heard him talking, I was thinking, okay, maybe things are getting figured out. They're getting appeased. Maybe Gutekunst and Rodgers have sort of figured things out. From that press conference, it doesn't really seem to be the case. It still seems that there actually is uncertainty for him if he'll be returning to the Packers. He really seemed, truthful when it came to that point that, he doesn't know what's going to happen after this season. He just doesn't really know what's going to happen after this year. So it sort of makes me think, who knows what is going to happen in the future. One of the reasons he came back is he was talking about that competitive spirit that he has. He was actually thinking about potentially retiring. He said he was talking to other Packers players who have retired, sort of about the retired life. But then he said as he started to work out more, that competitive spirit came back in him and he wanted to return to the Packers for this season. And so who knows? Honestly, from the way that he was looking, the way that he was talking, it really seems that he's honest that he doesn't know what's going to happen after this year. Maybe he goes somewhere else. Maybe he retires. Hopefully, things can maybe get figured out. But if they haven't been figured out up to this point, I really don't know if they will, because after all this, you would think that if things were going to get figured out and Aaron Rodgers was, to be given that influence that he really wanted, that it would have happened by now, especially up to this point. So who knows if things will change. It's really hard to tell, but that definitely was a very interesting interview from Aaron Rodgers. Definitely, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I'm not sure if it's been posted by the Packers yet, but once it is, I'll try to link it down below for you guys who haven't had a chance to watch the entire thing, because I definitely think it's an interview you definitely should go check out for yourself, sort of see all that he had to say about the entire situation. He really laid it all out on the line. And he also, one other interesting thing, he was talking about the media sort of blowing things out of proportion without having all of the information. And he was saying from his part, there were no purposeful leaks. And, from his side, there were no leaks, so he wasn't sure how those things were getting out, which is sort of an interesting point to make as well. So a very, very interesting interview from Aaron Rodgers to start training camp. Didn't expect this today. I was wondering if there would be much from him in the interview, because sometimes, he just sort of doesn't share a whole lot, keeps it a little secretive, but he really laid it all out on the line today. So definitely a very interesting interview. But that's going to be all for today's video. If you want to see more Packers content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel down below. Like the video as well, it really helps put the videos out to more people. But thank you for watching. See you guys next time.